President Biden says there are three fast-moving wildfires that continue to blaze trails of destruction in the LA area. The largest is the Palisades fire. Started Tuesday and had burned more than 15,000 acres as of this morning. The fire extends along the coast between Santa Monica and Malibu. The region has some of the most expensive real estate in the nation.
The death toll now stands at 5, but officials are expecting that number to increase. Thousands of structures have been destroyed and nearly 180,000 people are under evacuation orders. The wildfires remain mostly uncontained at this time, but a break in some strong winds this morning allowed firefighters to dump some water from the air.
It is surreal. It is without words that I can even explain to you what is taking place, especially in my district in Altadena, but also in the bordering area of Pasadena. My heart is heavy.
There is some good news at this hour. Firefighters now say they have begun to slow the spread of these devastating fires.
Sunny Side reports from one of the hardest hit areas.
It looked apocalyptic.
The devastation unprecedented as wildfires continue to burn across Los Angeles. In Pacific Palisades, entire neighborhoods have been reduced to ash.
It is safe to say that the Palisades fire is one of the most destructive natural disasters in the history of Los Angeles.
That fire burning more than 17,000 acres so far and destroying more than 1,000 structures.
It just took a long time to fathom that this could just all disappear like that.
More than 180,000 people have been put under evacuation orders as 5 fires continue to burn across LA. Thousands of firefighters on the ground are working to contain the firestorm. 100-mile-per-hour winds that fueled the flames earlier this week have calmed for now, but are expected to return in the coming days.
The winds will die down a little bit, and you think, oh, here's where we can hunker in and get some containment, and then all of a sudden the real gusts come back, and it's back and off to the races again.
Those high winds make the fire's path unpredictable. Officials urge residents to be prepared to evacuate at a moment's notice.
When you are asked to evacuate immediately. Do not hesitate.
We're getting our first look at some of the widespread devastation left behind now, and residents are wondering how they will even begin to pick up the pieces.
Los Angeles has true grit. It has resilience. And it will rebuild, and it will rebuild better than ever.
In total, these fires have burned more than 29,000 acres across Los Angeles. In Pacific Palisades, California, Sunny Side, Fox 32 Chicago.
The stories coming from these wildfires have been incredible. Today, we spoke to several people who were forced to evacuate to safety. This is video from the backyard of the home of Sergio Lopriado. The hurricane-force winds ripped neighbors' roofs off homes and sent debris flying everywhere. He and his family are staying close by to keep an eye on their home and some elderly neighbors who have chosen to stay put. He described his drive back with his 19-year-old son to check on the area.
The drive to go back was very difficult because there might be some people who are just going up there to look around. But us people who live there, we're trying to get there to save our parents, our pets, things like that. It was very difficult. So I had to maneuver and go lateral on a bunch of streets and kind of sneak my way into my home. And when I got there, it was like that. It felt like that Brad Pitt movie, War Z or something like that. It was just a disaster area. But my area, I want to go on the record as saying, and I don't want to get emotional, but it's nothing compared to the people. I swear I wouldn't do that. The people north are not doing well. The people in Altadena are not doing well. And we're talking, my son has 5 friends who he went to the schools with in that area, and they've all lost their home, burnt to the ground.
And Lopriado says he and his son spent last night sleeping in shifts so one person could keep an eye on the area while the other tried to get some rest. He said it was a sleepless night, but his family will recover, and he worries about others whose homes have been left in ruins. These California wildfires are also impacting Chicago's former mayor, Lori Lightfoot. In a tweet this morning, she says her aunt and uncle have lost almost everything. She's also asking for prayers for those impacted and for help from people who can afford to contribute.
Let's take a live look at our cameras in Southern California. You can see all that smoke just barreling from the hills. January is normally the second wettest month in Southern Cali. The area is under a severe threat right now, though.
We want to bring in Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls to this discussion. Emily, can you explain how the weather is helping to fuel these historic wildfires? People have lived there their entire lives we've spoken to who say they have never seen anything like this.
Well, we've had several things working against us when it comes to this fire. First and foremost, we had those really, really high winds a couple days ago. We're talking wind gusts that were over 80 miles per hour. And even when you're trying to fight a fire and you have 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts, 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts, that makes the job hard enough. When you have wind gusts that are that high, it just makes it completely unmanageable. And that's exactly what was happening yesterday and the day before. So you have those Santa Ana winds, and then that's been really aiding in that critical fire risk for the last couple of days. And unfortunately, it's just going to continue. And let's talk about the drought. So zooming things way into the LA area, LA County specifically, as well as many locations stretching further off toward the south, listed to be under a severe drought. So conditions are very, very dry in this region. And because of this, in addition to those winds and the ongoing fires we already have, there is a fire weather warning that's remaining in effect until 8 p.m. tomorrow. And here's where the smoke's headed. So good news for us, it's not going to be in our atmosphere so much overhead here in the Chicagoland area. It is heading to the south out over the Pacific. We have snow in our forecast tomorrow. I'll have those details coming up.